Born in Pilsen by Valeria Osornio. I am la comunidad, community at the heart. I am a neighborhood unknown to those who've never been. I am one of the many Latinos that call this place theirs, proud of their beautiful bandera de verde, blanco y rojo. I am loud Spanish music blasting out of speakers in the summer. Banda, corridos, and cumbias heard from passing cars during heavy traffic hours in the evenings. I am its youth, young and old enough to remember how it used to be, to hate and love the changes brought to me. I am the working people, some seen making their living on streets, selling their jewelry, las artesanías, los elotes, snacks on wheels, handmade wooden crafts filled with coolers of tamales, champurrado, fruit cups, aguas frescas, cotton candy, and colorful snow cones. I am culture, beautiful clash of two worlds. Its rich, rooted music and everlasting art celebrating stories from the past and unforeseeable future. I am murals, painted on the faces of old buildings. The many artists' blood, sweat, and tears dedicated to tell stories, tales from before, depicting struggles, immigration, and history.
Yeah, my name is Emilio Moreno. I'm a Pilsen resident. I'm 34 years old. I've lived here in the neighborhood for all my life. My grandparents have been living in the neighborhood since the late 50s, and the second generation Mexican American. Yeah. I always lived around Cullerton and Damon, and I also lived a majority of my years over by 21st Place in Paulina, and then I also lived a few years over by Fullerton and Paulina as well. So we're almost around the middle of the neighborhood. Went to Cooper Primary School, and I also went to Jose Clemente Orozco for my junior high. So all the schools that I have attended have all been in the neighborhood. Went to Benito Juarez High School, which is a local high school here in the neighborhood, over by Cermak and Ashland. Graduated in 2006. For sure, the high school has changed so much over the years. For sure, before the school has annexed and has grown. It was just a small building in the corner of the street, and it was mainly Mexican American all the life since I was there. Very few percentage. African American, a few Caucasians, and a few Asians, but mainly Mexicans and Mexican Americans. Growing up in the neighborhood has changed over the years. I know for sure when I was young, it was very, like you can say, violent neighborhood, but at the same time it had a lot of folk of color and culture. That hasn't changed throughout the years, but I know for a fact that violence has always been prevalent, unfortunately, but compared to how it was before, you're now able to at least have like evening walks around the neighborhood per se as to before. But back then, you would see more Mexicans or Mexican Americans in the neighborhood. I mean, you still had like a few of the original Caucasians that lived in the neighborhood, but overall, I know for a fact that there are more children in the blocks playing around. Nowadays, like, yeah, you may have kids, but they're not as playing around as much as they used to back then. So I can honestly say maybe the percentage have changed because of the gentrification. But I mean, you can tell right away how back then there were more Mexicans and Mexican Americans living in the neighborhood compared to now. The city has been evolving in the sense of like the metropolitan area, the downtown area has grown over the years, taking over a lot of the old school blue collar neighborhoods, like let's say Wicker Park, Logan Square, Pilsen, parts of Little Village. I mean, there's a lot of neighborhoods. I've been Bronzeville as well. I think the city has been evolving in that sense, but it's also affecting the true original like Chicagoans that have lived here in the city over the years. So I think the effect is that the city has been pushing a lot of the blue collar people, and you can tell right from the start. Like you start seeing a lot of folks that they come from different parts of the country or around the world, which is fine per se, but at the same time you don't see that old school Chicagoans that that lived around the neighborhood, and of course a lot of the older generation folks have been passing away, unfortunately.
Hi, my name is Joe Lucenti. I've been living here in Pilsen for 5 years now, and I was raised in Highland Park, Illinois, and I came to the city for college, and after college I moved here in Pilsen. I think Pilsen was a great fit for me just because it was a great commute for me to get to Indiana, and I had friends here, and that's it.
Do you consider yourself a gentrifier?
Unfortunately, I don't perceive myself as one, but people may perceive me as one. Honestly, I'm renting right now. I don't even have a place here, but I do want to get a place here, and so far it's expensive.
There's two ways to see if gentrification has been good and has been bad. In a way, you can say it's good to have a diverse culture of people moving into the neighborhood and experiencing people who have lived with different walks of life. But at the same time, it's not good because they're pushing away a lot of the people that lived originally here that cannot afford to live in the houses around the neighborhood, because prices and taxes have gone up on the rise because of gentrification, unfortunately. So it's a good and a bad thing. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but I know for a fact that over the years, a lot of my friends, a lot of the family that I interacted with, a lot of my they've moved away, and I'm one of the few that have stayed behind. But I don't know how long I'll be here in the neighborhood because of gentrification.